Connections. Last week, we learned some lessons from some of my favorite TV characters, Dexter and Sheldon. The lessons can be summarized in the simple statements: more often than not, mastery is a byproduct of obsession. Still in line with childhood lessons and memories, earlier this week, I randomly remembered a song from elementary school days. Who do you know? I know Aristotle. He was a great teacher who taught Alexander. Just in case this is the first time you've heard me sing, this is not my real voice. This song sparked up an important question in my mind. Who do you know? Growing up as a Nigerian kid, I heard the word connections a lot, but it had a bit of a negative connotation to it. There was a notion that to get access to certain things, get certain privileges, or unlock certain doors, you need connections. Way back then, I used to think that the concept of connections was a Nigerian thing. I also thought that it's one of the evils of a corrupt system. And I know there are lots of people who think the same way. But as I grew older and got more exposed, I realized that it's not a Nigerian thing, and the concept does not originate from a corrupt system. The concept of connections is a natural law that applies all over the world, even in systems where meritocracy is upheld. What do I mean? Stay with me. Before I proceed, I'll flip the original question from who do you know to who knows you. From the song, you could say that I know Aristotle at least to the extent that he was a great teacher and that he taught Alexander. But on the flip side, Aristotle and even his descendants who are alive today probably have absolutely no idea who I am. This just implies that Aristotle is not connected to me in any way. So, Aristotle is not a connection. I'll give you a typical instance of what connection means to me and why I say it applies everywhere. Let's say I work in an organization that urgently needs someone to install an inverter system to power some equipment. Now I happen to be in a meeting where a decision is to be made about 3 suppliers with similar competence levels and similar pricing. Between supplier A, B, and C, I know supplier A personally. I have worked with him before on a similar project and he did an excellent job. If my opinion is highly valued in that organization, which of the 3 suppliers do you think is most likely to land the contract? Certainly supplier A, for 3 reasons. 1, he is great at what he does. 2, he has a proven track record. And 3, he knows someone in the organization. Scrap that. Someone in the organization knows him. Recall that I said all 3 suppliers have similar competence levels and pricing. So the issue of meritocracy does not even apply here. Aside from competence, supplier A also has connections. In another instance, where none of the decision makers knows any of the 3 suppliers, if for example the boss's wife knows a supplier D who didn't even submit a proposal but has done an excellent job in the past for her, best believe that supplier D might end up landing that job because he is connected, although indirectly. The idea is that with everything else kept constant, the closer you are to the decision makers, the more likely you are to land the opportunity. A similar scenario would play out if an employer needed to fill a position in their establishment. If someone whose opinion they value highly makes a recommendation, they would usually tilt more towards the one person that was recommended by someone they know over the hundreds of unknown applicants. Now I understand that in some cases, specifically in corrupt systems, this connection thing is abused. But you need to also understand that the connection-based system of selection is perfectly normal and it's not a Nigerian thing, it's just the way the world works. This is why it's often said that your network is your net worth. And perhaps, who knows, this is possibly the reason behind the name of the social media platform known as LinkedIn. They understand that it's not enough to just be competent, you also need to be linked. Who you know and who knows you matter a lot. Your connections, your network, the people who are linked to you. People would rather hire or do business with you based on recommendations than based on many other criteria because it gives them some level of insurance. So the key takeaway here is that it's important to build and maintain valuable relationships. And as you do this, understand that it's better to build relationships with people when they are not there yet. And by there, I mean the place where they need to make a decision about you. The closer you are to the seat of power, the better. If someone needs to make a decision about you, and you know that someone, your chances are good. If you don't know someone, but at least you know someone that knows someone, you are better than the person who knows no one. So if you don't know someone, try to know someone that knows someone, or at least someone that knows someone that knows someone. But it starts right where you are, from the person seated next to you to the one you randomly meet at an event, or in an elevator, or in a taxi. It's often said that you don't make friends with a boat rider when there's a flood. You make friends with him before the flood. So when I speak of connections, know that your connections are better off made before the connection is needed. You may know Aristotle, but does he know you? The people that know you and can speak for you are even more important. So as you build your skills and competence, remember to also go out there and make valuable connections. Also remember that if you want a good friend, you must show yourself a good friend too. I trust that this was worth your time. Subscribe or follow to get notified when new episodes drop. Have a beautiful week, and please share this with someone if you found it useful. Till I come your way again, keep being amazing. My name is Murphy Nnamdi Ochuba.